Today, our group will present about our multi-criteria decision-making project. Our project name is Pretty Go Programming Topic Sustainable R&D Project for a Company. Our team includes 7 members. Now, here's the table content of our presentation. First, introduction. Second is method. Three is mathematical model. Then we go to result analysis, recommendation, and finally we go to the conclusion. First, I will go to the introduction. About the problem description, a company essential had to choose one of 7 research and develop R&D project pursue. Kind of contrary popular belief, each R&D must literally consider 4 requests, which kind is quite significant. There is 4 characteristics in net present value, NPV, the annual growth rate in sales, probability in success, and the total cost. Next, this is about the data of the 7 project. And next, there is 4 requirement with priority in order. The total net value present of selected project should be at least $200 million. All selected initiatives should have an average probability at least for 0.75. The average annual growth rate in selected project should be at least 50%, and the total cost of the selected project should not be exceed $1 billion. The priority set is 4132 using the primitive Go programming to determine which project would be selected. Then our objective, the use of MCDM is particularly important. The application is complex or advanced material and applications are new. The use of leading edge technology involves such as aerospace, electronic, nuclear, biomedical application, where product differentiation and competitive advantage are often achieved with just small gain in material performance. Goal programming is an approach used for solving multi-objective optimization problem balance trade-off in conflicting objectives. A problem is modeled into a goal programming in a manner similar to that linear programming model. The tool our group choose to solving the problem beside the goal programming approach is Lingo. Lingo is a software tool designed to efficiently build a solve linear, nonlinear, and integer optimization model. The application of Lingo will help us to give a conclusion based on the problem requirement and criteria.
The goal of my group project was to understand the theory and put them into practice using the tip of mental thought. With this project, our scope is a cooperative project running on Lingo language. Next, please. About limitation, this study only applied the basic content present in the multi-criteria decision-making course. In addition, the data used in the project is completely hypothetical, has not yet been highly accurate, and is mostly based on the quality of the research participants. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted the collection of necessary information and data. Therefore, the net present value, the annual growth rate in sales, probability of success, and the cost of the project are only based on the previous research and articles and surveys. Next, my friend will talk about the method.
The second part of our presentation is definition and application. Firstly, definition. Goal programming is an important technique for decision makers to solve multi-objective decision-making problems in finding a set of satisfied solutions. Goal programming is an extension of linear programming in which targets and specify for set of constraints. In Go programming, there are 2 basic models. Primitive model goals are ordered according to priorities. The goals at certain priority level are considered to be infinitely more important than the goals at the next level. The Archimedean model weighs penalties for not achieving targets must be specified, and we attempt to minimize the sum of the weighted infeasibilities. Second, Application. Go programming generally applies to linear problems, deals with the achievement of prescribed goals or targets. Both academics and practitioners have embraced this technique. The basic purpose of Go programming is to simultaneously satisfy several goals relevant to the decision-making situation. To this end, the set of attributes to be considered in the problem situation is established. Here are steps for the primitive Go programming algorithm.
The section 3 is about mathematical model, and this has two parts. First, a formulated problem. In decision variable, it is going to be binary, equal 1 if the project is chosen and at 0 for otherwise. Next, we define our parameters. NPV is the net present value of project. G is the new growth rate of project. P is the probability of success of project. C is cost in millions of project. And I is goes from 1 to 7. And we of course define the deviation variable uj and ej. Uj is the shortage of the amount by which the left-hand side falls short of the right-hand side value, and ej is the amount by which the left-hand side exceeds the right-hand side value. And now we get into formulating the goals. The soft constraints with goal 1 is the total net present value of all selected projects should be at least $200 millions, and this is the formula. Goal 2 is all selected initiatives should have an average probability of success at least 0.75. Goal 3 is the average annual growth rate of all selected projects should be at least 50%. And finally, Goal 4 is the total cost of all selected projects should not exceed $1 billion. And of course, we state that the decision variable are binary and that the deviation variable are non-negative. And here's our group objective function. Next is about model in Lingo.
Hello, I'm Vinh. I'm going to continue the presentation with the Lingo code that our group used. Firstly, we need to build an Excel file to store data for the Lingo model. To read and write the result, the F column will receive the result of the decision variable X, which are binary values with 0 and 1. 0 means the project is not chosen, while 1 means we select the project. Firstly, we define the variables for the net present value NPV, G for annual growth, probability in short for project success rate, project cost, and the decision variable X. Then we use the add OLE function to read data from the Excel file, then write the result of decision variable X back to the Excel file by using the same function. We implement the sequential method into this problem, and the priority set for the goals is 1 for 1, 3, 2. We start by minimizing the deviation variables for the first prioritize goal number 4. The result we get from the solving goal number 4 will be fixed in the model and treated as hard constraint. At the first step, we want to solve the 4th goal, in which we want to minimize the total cost of all projects. It should be at most $1 billion. We ignore the other constraint by adding exclamation marks in front of the others to consider them as co-comments. So we add exclamation mark before goal 1, 2, and 3 to ignore them. Then we solve for the minimized value of E4. After solving the minimum value of E4, which equal to 0, then we must set E4 as hard constraint, which is 0 before solving all the goals. We do the same with all the goals to find the minimum value of U1, U3, and U2. Now we move to the next part.
My name is Hiếu, and now I will introduce about the result and analysis from the Lingo. And after we coding the Lingo, we will have the solution here. Now and for here. And as you see, we have the seven projects from X1 to X7 were compute and analyzed based on the net present value, annual growth, probability of success, and the cost of projects. And from following the Lingo solution, the project 1, 3, 4, and 6 were picked to make the company invest decisions. Next, please. Now, in the analysis, because of we using Lingo, so we can find the value, reduce cost, do a price objective, coefficient ranks, and the right-hand side ranks that are required for sensitivity analysis. Therefore, we will analyze our problems based on the sensitivity analysis. About sensitivity analysis, under a given set of assumptions, sensitivity analysis evaluates how different values of independent variable affect a specific dependent variable. In other words, sensitivity analysis look at how different sorts of uncertainty in a mathematical model affects the total uncertainty of the model. Sensitivity is also a financial model that determines how target variables are affected by all the changes in other variables known as the input variable. And by creating a given set of variables, an analyst can determine how changes in other one variables affect the outcome. Now we have the key factor of sensitivity analysis. Here we have the value is represent the value of the original variables that selected outcome after solving. And now we have a reduced cost, also known as the opportunity cost. Is the amount by which objective function coefficient must improve before a corresponding variable in the optimal solution can assume a positive value. And one more thing is that if the optimal value of variables is positive, then the reduced cost is always zero. But if the optimal value of a variable is zero and the reduced cost corresponding to a variable is also zero, then there is at least one other corner that's also in the optimal solution. Now we have the slack and surplus. It shows the amount we need to satisfy a constraint like quality, and for equality constraints, slack and overrun is zero. Now the last one we have the shadow price. This is the amount of optimal value that improves if there are any change in the objective function coefficient or on the right hand side, the constraint bigger, higher or equal has the non-positive shadow price, and the constraint smaller or equal the negative shadow price. Now we will move to the next part.
About recommendations, there are many potential benefits of choosing a structured and consistent R&D project that have been recognized in both academia and industries. Most of the recent research have produced hybrid selection tools where the three aforementioned techniques, scoring, financing, and risk, are used to provide a more planned project assessment tool. This study has generated insight into the use of R&D project selection model in small and medium enterprise. And finally, in conclusions, in summary, our project, the result of selected project in 7 research and developed R&D projects have been calculated. The value of 4 criteria NBV success variability from that difference by Lingo software based on the concept of objective programming approach and applications of criteria decision making. This method makes it easy for management to quickly establish the effect of changes to project budgets and time scale on the portfolio. Thank you for listening.